tweet. The tweet. Why do you always do this to me? Let me post this in the very exclusive Cult Club. Are the bits coming in? Oh, thank goodness.
You know what I like about the over-ear headphones? I mean, aside from the noise canceling or, sound isolation.
What's that?
I like the fact that I don't have to trim my ear hair to the podcast.
That is a nice side benefit of having
Take the comfort where you
headphones
can
on.
get it.
What's that?
Take the comfort where you can get it.
Hey, want to know an interesting detail about the movie Twins? Hey, shout out to Zach Hicks. Zach Hicks is here. He's here. He's ready for unarmed intruders. Okay, good. Yeah. Let me go to the scene. Zach Hicks, welcome. Give him one of these. If anyone shows up talking trash, saying anything negative, actually, any criticism at all, they're like, oh, this show's not interesting, or I don't really like these guys. Anything like that, boom, gone. Send them over to the 9 to 5 podcast. 6 or 7 people there. They can hang out with them. Or the Verge cast. That'll be punishment for him. Send them over to the Verge cast. I actively try not to. Interesting note about Twins while we're waiting for people to shuffle in here. So that was early days in Arnold Schwarzenegger's career. And I heard I think it was a podcast with him or something. And he said that they were pitching it to him and Danny DeVito, and they weren't sure if the film was going to work. And so instead of paying them up front, they made a deal with Arnold and Danny DeVito to pay them on the back end into perpetuity, depending on how the film did. And he said to this day, he's never made more money off any film that he's ever done than Twins, because that movie ended up becoming like a sleeper hit. And even still today, people love that movie, and he's still making tons of money from it today. And the producer that he was working with rused the day they made that deal. He's like, that was the worst deal I've ever made. I will never make that deal again, because Arnold Schwarzenegger has made so much freaking money from Twins. One of the greatest movies ever made. Shout out to Dan DeWitt. He says, hey, okay. Jeez, don't worry about the rest of us, Dan. Rude. Chase McClain is here. McClain! And Apple Prototype is here. He says, nice. AMH, hey, guys. Great show. Thanks. Thank you. Roz Hall. Hello, Governor. Oh, my gosh, Roz. I've been meaning to get back to you. Look, you guys got to see this. I haven't been very active on Twitter, so I apologize if some of you have reached out to me. And I just been taking a break from Twitter, and it's been really nice. But Roz Hall, oh my gosh, Roz Hall. Do you remember that? Do you remember that really super creepy Christmas portrait that we got a while ago, Leander, where it was you and Buster on my lap, and I was just as like the psychotic Santa Claus? Do you remember that?
What was this? What?
How could you not? Do you remember that? Do you remember
Trying
that
to block
portrait?
it.
Do you remember that portrait that one of our listeners did a long time ago, where I was like that super creepy Santa Claus and you were sitting in my lap with like your rosy cheeks and like Buster? You don't remember this? I can't believe you
Luckily,
remember.
I don't remember.
It was extremely creepy, but very, very well done, and they captured your essence just perfectly. But that was Roz Hall. Listen to Roz Hall, one of the best artists that I have ever encountered, and he did a portrait of me. Now, I'm not showing you this to like hype my own countenance here, but just to show how talented this guy is. So check this out. Can you see? And he did like a time lapse of like the entire thing.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Check this out.
Is that you though? Oh.
Well, it's turning into me shortly.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. See? He captured the liveliness of my fro. Dude, look at that. That's crazy.
Quite distinguished in that.
Yeah, don't I?
That's kind of freaky.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because
right?
it didn't look like you, and then suddenly it did.
And then all of a sudden, it just like became me. I wish I were a talented artist. I'm not.
Wow.
So, Roz, if you want, send me a print. I'll sign it for you, and then for $500, I'll mail it to you. If you want to sign prints, mail me it, and I'll mail it back to you. Just $500.
Is that an NFT? Can you sell that for?
Dude, I don't even know what NFTs are, Lewis. Do you even know what an NFT is? Because I really don't know.
Well, it's a non-fungible token digital thing backed up by Bitcoin or something. Blockchain. Blah, 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 blah.
The fact that listeners don't doing a funny voice, you can tell he has no idea what he's talking
Yeah,
about.
he's just vamping, waiting for someone to jump in and actually explain.
NFT.
All I know is Gary Vaynerchuk rambles on about them all the time. Isn't it? It's like an NFT is like a one of a kind. It's almost like an in-game DLC, but for real life, right? So you can buy like a one of a kind digital item that only you have possession of. Chat, let me know. Does anyone know what an NFT is? Roz Hall is saying, yeah, I'll sell it as an NFT and buy a helicopter. Yeah, well, after I sign it, you'll definitely have funds for a helicopter made in the 1920s.
Well,
One of the first ones.
A New York Times columnist made his column an NFT, and it's currently being bid. Well, this morning it was being bid up for $500,000.
Oh my gosh, this is such a fad. I gotta create an NFT.
Yeah, the new Beanie Babies, people are saying.
Mm-hmm.
The new tulips.
Okay, so someone's saying, Chase McClain, it's backed by blockchain. Okay, so clearly it has something to do with blockchain technology, but we still don't know what that means. Apparently, when it resells, you get a commission. Oh, well, that is interesting.
Just means it's a one-of-a-kind, supposedly digital thing, which is, kind of crazy.
Okay, Sean Fitzpatrick is saying it's a digital baseball card or comic. Okay, so it is. It's like a unique, one-of-a-kind digital item that I think only one person can possess. But what do you do with it? Does it just stay in your Bitcoin?
Copy.
It's like a JPEG that only you could look at. That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Or actually, when Apple delivers their mixed reality headset, you can probably populate your virtual home with NFC items, right? Or NFT items.
Fantastic. I cannot wait.
There you go. Oh man, Roz, you got to paint a oil portrait of Tim Cook. That's got to be your. Or actually, no, I take that back. You got to do Bob Mansfield. Bob Mansfield oil painting with him in his red silk robe, massage table in the background. I will buy that from you. I would hang if you made that. I would hang that in my living room. I would create a big print, like a canvas print, and I would hang that proudly in my living room. I would send you a picture of that. Can you do that, Roz? How much do I have to pay you? I probably can't afford you. Not with your level of talent. All right, guys. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Well, look. That might have been an exaggeration.
Well, we've got some stuff to talk about.
The undermining begin.
Look, I don't want to oversell today's episode. There's like nothing to talk about. Absolutely nothing. But, that's what I love about you guys, especially the ones that are here early, is you're not here to actually hear the Apple news, are you? You just want to hear us hang out and laugh about some dumb stuff and, maybe work in some Apple news. In fact, we should probably change the title of the podcast to that, although that might be kind of long for Apple's podcast app. So we have some iPhone 13 stuff. Well, I'm not going to jump into it now because we're about to start the show. So let's hear. Sean Fitzpatrick says, blockchain proves you have issue of NFT, so no forgeries. Yeah, but so what are you supposed to do with it, though, I guess is my question. You got this digital item that blockchain affirms that you own, but what do you do with it? It's a freaking digital item that only you get to. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm old school. I like my paintings to be on the wall.
They're selling like clips of people playing basketball. Like, oh, this clip is a digital. It's an NFT because it's numbered, and they're selling them for like thousands of dollars. It's insane. Yeah. So you can an NFT. So you get something that is digital, and then you take possession of it. So it's infinite. You can make anything into an NFT, I guess. But my original question remains. So you own a clip of Michael Jordan slam dunking, right? What do you do with it? You can't display it anywhere. It's digital. You put it in iCloud and hope it doesn't fail.
Like changing the art game, I guess. People are buying them up. Ulysses Martinez says, well, I have no doubt that people are buying NFTs. People will buy all sorts of stuff. Remember, what year was it when people in Holland were like spending thousands and thousands of dollars buying bulbs, like tulip bulbs or something?
Tulip mania.
What's that?
Tulip mania.
Tulip mania. So we're in an NFT mania. People are talking about NFTs.
1636.
Was it 1636? Lana, did you score any of those bulbs?
Oh, hilarious.
I got a hilarious. That's how you know Leander really enjoyed the joke. All right, guys,
Spoiler
look,
alert,
we're
the
just
collapse came in 1637.
we're losing listeners left and right. So let me go ahead and cue us up here. Did I start the recording? Okay, good. Let's cue up Mrs. D. Mrs. D. Up. Wait, no, that's not her.
Do we have a NC-17 version?
Are you talking about NFTs? Oh, yes, I am, Mrs. D. Oh, you know that I'm selling a NFT pie. Really? That sounds interesting. What do you do with it? Yeah, I don't know. Just store it in iCloud, I guess. Oh, wonderful. That sounds something like I want to invest in. Are you ready to start the show? I most certainly am. God, this is just terrible.
I'm like, how much longer can this go on?
Yeah, I don't know where this bit is going. No, we're good. I'll tell you that much. Jeez.
You mean the intro or the podcast?
I'm going to sell that
Oh, the
whole
whole
segment
thing.
as an NFT, though.
I'm really regretting not getting lunch now. Before.
I'm going to sell that bit as an NFT, although actually I'll pay you to take it and just bury it in your iCloud. All right, guys. I think we're ready to go. Let me bring up my my notes here, and we are ready to do this week's production. Here we go. Hello, and welcome to CultCast, the best 30-plus minute album conversation you're going to hear all week long. I'm your host, Airpods Elijah. Joining me today in a sea of Apple journalists, he's the real thing, the godfather of Apple news. He's been covering the tech scene since 1927. His column on the Model T, huge hit. Leander Caney is here. Hilarious. Speaking of godfathers, he's been known to break thumbs, verbally threaten, and put animal heads in the beds of Cultimac riders, whatever it takes to keep them in line, cranking out those stories. He's the managing editor of Cultimac. Lewis Wallace is here.
No animals were hurt in the beheading of the animals.
That doesn't seem possible, Lewis. Lewis, what's your favorite animal head to decapitate and put into the beds of riders?
Oh
I heard you were a
God.
fan of squirrels because they're easy to catch, they're bountiful.
Oh man, I got a horrible story about a squirrel. I can't even. I can't.
I don't
even,
think that you would tell me.
You just triggered me, man.
Okay, I don't want to trigger you. But the nice thing about a squirrel head, unlike a horse head, dude, Godfather is so obviously not real. Because like you come into your room, you're gonna see a ginormous horse head in your bed before you even
might smell it.
You might smell it, and there's going to be a huge mound in your covers, right? You'd be like, what the heck is that thing? A squirrel head is much more inconspicuous. Like, you don't know that it's there, and then you get in, and there's like something furry rubbing against your toe, and you're like, what is that? Right? And then you go down through your covers, and it's like, ah! the squirrel head's sitting there, and it's like, the face is frozen in death. That's a good idea for you. That one got Leander.
That was pretty accurate, yeah.
I didn't get a ha! Hilarious. All right, guys. God, I'm sorry. I feel like this show is already terrible. Usually it takes 20 minutes to get to that point, but here we are.
Right off the rails.
Right off the rails this week. So here's what we're going to talk about this week. iPhone 13, we got some delicious details. I feel like we know virtually everything there is to know about this phone. So we'll tell you what we know, and it's turning out to be a nice little phone. I think I'm probably going to buy one. I can barely resist buying the iPhone 12. I'm still on the 11 Pro right here. And isn't that a beautiful case? Look at that. Look at that bumper case, Lewis. This is the way a phone was meant to be enjoyed. Just look
Who
at
makes
that.
that bumper case?
This is Rhino Shield Crash Guard NX, one of my favorite cases. I will perpetually give them juice because they make such great cases. Super protective. And let's see here.
Hey,
Yes?
can you see? What do you think of that?
That's all right. Is that the Apple leather case?
Oh, that's a walnut blue leather case.
Oh, they make really
just
nice.
Came in stock.
They make really beautiful cases.
Really great.
I would say
It actually.
yeah.
I was just say it's weird. It makes the phone feel noticeably bigger, but also noticeably more comfortable.
Yeah, you mean because it's like
I was
that
having a little-
smooth, buttery leather on there?
Yeah, and it's like the edges of that phone are almost sharp. They're it's almost dangerous, right? And I was finding that I was getting like monkey paw grip. Yeah. And it feels better with that thing on there. It's a good feeling.
Well, they do make beautiful cases. Walnut's leather case is probably one of the nicest that I've ever used. They're like buttery smooth, super high quality, so juice for them. Let's see here. We'll give you guys a quick preview of what Jon Prosser looks like without eyebrows. So we'll we have that. I have that image all lined up.
Avert your eyes.
I can't wait to show you, or as I'm calling him, Whoopi Prosser. We're going to talk about some secret features built in to the HomePod Mini that
You're
make it activated.
Showing off your eyebrows. Just.
I can't do the other one though very well. Like how Jim Carrey can like bounce them up and down. I'm trying to. I wish I could.
Bad.
They're both pretty expressive, but the one on the what is that left? Definitely.
Oh yeah, I've got expert
that's
control.
Definitely the pro.
This is like scalpel level control. This is like Spock level control right there.
Eyebrow dance is just the most amazing audio ever.
Yeah, that's a good point. I should probably move on. So we'll tell you about some HomePod Mini features, dude. It's so weird that we don't have the regular HomePod anymore. I'm still mourning it. And then we'll wrap up with a little story about how to renew your AirPods, your original AirPods. Do you have some AirPods that don't have very good battery life anymore? If you listen to this show, this is probably a problem that you've had before. I have some AirPods that one of the AirPods, the battery life is basically shot. I take it out of the case and it's at 72%, and then it dies within an hour. I'm going to tell you a really inexpensive way to get full battery life back on your original AirPods if you don't want to just buy a new pair, which is basically the only option that you have. You can go to Apple and do their refresh program, but it's so expensive you might as well not even do it. Before we dive into all the fun, Lewis, actually, hold on. We got to cut to Leander. Leander, show us this Iron Man Apple Watch strap. Leander, on your wrist. Let's take a look at this thing. Look at that thing. I was like, did you steal that from Tony Stark's closet? And he was telling me it's a juke band that's sold in the Cult of Mac store that the designer basically, well, they designed after the aesthetic of Iron Man. It looks exactly like something that Tony Stark would wear. And it's really useful. You'll be able to like pew, 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 block bullets with it because it's made out of, well, I don't know if that's true.
Wonder Woman. It's not made of vibranium, though.
What's it made out of, Leander? Do you know?
Aluminum.
Oh, so
aluminum. I think
that's not blocking any bullets. Maybe a 22.
That's not blocking it. It's aircraft grade though. It's like 60, whatever it's called, the 602.
Oh, well then you might be able to.
That's nice. These are really super nice bands. Really good stainless steel clasp.
Oh, so the clasp is stainless steel, but the rest of it is aluminum. Very cool.
Yeah,
look how chunky and burly that thing looks.
Yeah, it's really well made and really well, really flexible. I really like this band.
So those are sold in the Cult of Mac store. Lewis, there was also another hot band this week, wasn't there? Let me see if I can pull this up while you're going through this here real fast.
Yeah. The big seller this week is the Ilago Sport Band for Apple Watch, and all you really need to know is that the headline of the review is Ilago Sport Band for Apple Watch is too good to be just $19.
Oh my goodness!
$19.
It's hard to believe. I don't know anything about it, but I barely believe you.
I haven't tried this particular band, but it does look good.
All right, what'd you say it's called? Because I'm trying to find it and I can't find it. I want to show it to the good people.
Ilago.
Oh,
Sport
Ilago.
Band.
I always confuse
Elago.
Ilago and Elgato. You know, Elgato, they make all sorts of really great accessories, like the card that I'm using to bring you this fine production. And you said it's a sport band?
Yeah. I dropped the link in Slack there.
Oh. Well,
very, very helpful.
Save you a bit of time.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that.
I know the search on Cult of Mac is fantastic and fast and just really stunning, but Slack is going to be a little.
I found it
for you.
I found it. You are discounting my expert web skills. So, Ilago Premium Apple Watch Band. They have them in an assortment of colors. Beautiful, and they're only $19. Is that the one, Lewis?
Yeah, that's the one. You know,
look at that.
I mean, Apple charges you what, $50 for one like that?
Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous.
This thing has a clasp rather than the weird, not weird, I mean, the kind of cool peg system that Apple uses. But yeah.
Now it says that these are made from fluor rubber.
Fluoro rubber.
Is that? Do you know if that's fluoroelastomer, which is the material that Apple uses? Do you have any idea?
I do not know if it's like the exact same chemical composition, but my understanding
Sounds similar.
is it's
Yeah,
in the same ballpark.
Starts with fluor, so that's a good sign. It's at least half. It's at least halfway there. All right, so store.cultamac.com, store.cultamac.com if you are interested in grabbing yourself a watch strap. And there's a ton of other stuff here. I mean, the store is just chock full of great. Look at this little AirPods holder. Look at this little cute little AirPods holder. Where did it go?
These are awesome. Yeah, if you look at the front page of the store right now, I mean, there's a big feature post or whatever on Apple accessories under $30. You know, so it's not like, I mean, all this stuff is good that we sell, but it's not necessarily, you know, gonna send you crying when you look at your bank account statement.
Oh man, yeah, this really cool original Mac AirPods case will only set you back $12. $12. That's good. That's a very cool accessory too. So, all right, store.cultamac.com, store.cultamac.com. Lewis, let's talk about iPhone 13. We got lots of details to share this week, and we're basically going to tie it all up for you guys. So you probably have heard little pieces here and there. We've dropped a little bit here. We dropped a little bit there. We're gonna tile it up for you, put it in a nice little package, put a bow on it, hand it to you, and it's going to be a gift that isn't even for your birthday. Maybe it is your birthday today. If it is, happy birthday. If not, this is just a freebie. So take it away, Lewis.
So the headline is iPhone 13 may boast 1 terabyte of storage and LiDAR on all models.
Oh, good.
The,
LiDAR. I can't
everybody's
wait
waiting for it. iPhone 13 will boast a maximum storage capacity that's double that of iPhone 12, according to Wedbush analysts Strecker Backa and Daniel Ives in a new note to clients that we saw. iPhone 12 currently tops out at 512 gigabytes, so, you know, double. And apparently, I didn't check the math on this, but apparently that's 62 times the storage of the original iPhone, which topped out at 16 gigabytes. Remember that? 16?
I actually did not remember that, but can you imagine only having 16 gigabytes on your phone? Wasn't that the that was the base level of storage up until about 1 year ago?
Isn't iOS that big now?
Yeah, right. That was huge though at the time. I mean, 16 gigabytes was plenty roomy.
I know things have changed.
Well, especially when they released it, because there were no apps.
Yeah.
So what could you put on it?
Each picture was like 2 megabytes.
Yeah, right.
Just put your one NFT on there, and that's all.
Continue, Lewis.
In addition, the analysts claim that this year's iPhone refresh will feature a LiDAR scanner across all iPhone 13 models. Currently, it's only on the Pro models, as you may know. They say that they expect this to debut in the 3rd week of September. However, you know, there's all kinds of, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's been some supply chain hiccups lately, and could potentially push this into October.
So they're not even gonna clear that boat by then.
Yeah, what's the deal with that boat? I saw a story about that. What is going on with that dang boat?
Super stuck.
You know what?
So it's just like
a Suez Canal.
And it's just stuck there. They can't move it.
It's the canal's it's like a shallow V-shaped profile.
Yeah.
So the boat's supposed to stay in the middle, but it's jammed in the front and the back, and it's embedded into the sand and dirt at the side of the canal. So they're talking about like maybe having to offload half the boat.
Oh my gosh!
Pump out all the fuel, pump out all the bilge tanks to try to make it lighter. But you know, at the moment, it seems to be really, really wedged in there.
The boat is
as far
just
as you know, that's just filled up with Apple gear.
Yeah, and TVs and sneakers and who knows what. I mean, it's a giant boat.
Yeah,
it's
I'm showing a picture of it right now. Is it really? Oh my gosh, 1/4 mile long? I mean, look at all the freaking semi-truck containers that are on top of that thing. Like when you see a semi going down the road, it usually has one of those containers on top, and there looks like there's hundreds sitting on top of that boat. I wonder if the old captain was having a bit of the juice and didn't realize
it was a sandstorm. Apparently,
it was a sandstorm that blew the boat over and it made it stuck.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
That's a really strong sandstorm.
Holy cow!
It's like stuck in the ground.
Yeah, it's embedded in on both sides.
Oh my gosh!
It's so bad because it's embedded on both sides of the canal. You know, it's not like it's just stuck on one side.
How long is the traffic jam? I heard there's just an enormous amount of ships stuck behind it.
Hundreds. And if there's a graphic I saw on Twitter this morning where they had a map of it, and there's like hundreds of boats on both sides of the canal. Hundreds.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm on this page looking at the story, and the ads are trying to figure out things that I like. And so it's like, boat is stuck, not sure how to get the containers off. And then you scroll down, and it's like, gear we love, inflatable boats. Would you like to buy an inflatable boat? There's like a little inflatable dinghy right there.
Go ahead and do it.
Yep. No, I think I'm good for now. Although it is called the Seahawk, which is pretty cool. All right, so hopefully your iPhone 13 isn't stuck on the boat. Did we finish that story? Oh no, Lewis, there was some more stuff here.
Yeah, it's just kind of a roundup of what we think we know. What else is coming in iPhone 13, if in fact that's even what it's called.
Yeah.
Anyway, iPhone 13 Pro models supposedly going to come with 120 hertz screens, which nice upgrade that we've been waiting for
Years.
Yep. It's also possible it comes with a slight redesign, shrinking the size of the notch. And another report claims it might come back, might bring back Touch ID. Also, supposedly a bigger battery, and maybe this is the one I'm excited about: always on screen.
Oh, now
Actually,
that
I'm
would be
excited
cool.
about Touch ID too. But
Yeah, me too. I'm excited about both those features. I think those two together would be a killer feature set. Always on screen. That's new. That's novel. That's hot. Just to always have your screen on, at least the time portion or something. And then to have Touch ID built in. Oh, man. Now, I will say, and I mentioned this last show and the show before, dude, they built in a feature in iOS 14.5 that will allow you to wear your Apple Watch, and when you're wearing a mask, it will automatically unlock your iPhone whenever you swipe up. Now, sometimes it unlocks your iPhone even though you haven't swiped up, even though you're not even trying to unlock your iPhone, even if you're not wearing a mask. So it's definitely in beta. And it is a paradigm-shifting feature. And I know I say this every show, but not everyone catches every show. But just imagine you're at the grocery store, and you got to keep unlocking your iPhone to keep looking at your grocery list. You don't have to do that anymore. If you have an Apple Watch, you install the beta on your Apple Watch, the beta on your iPhone, and every time you swipe up now, it just unlocks, and then it taps your wrist to let you know that your phone has been unlocked and opened, just like it does when you unlock your Mac using your Apple Watch. And it is the feature that you didn't know that you needed for this entire year, because everyone's walking around wearing masks. You can finally unlock your freaking phone again. I feel like, in a way,
perfect timing, just as we finally again.
I know, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
In a way, I kind of feel like it makes Touch ID irrelevant because it works so well. You really don't need Touch ID, but you're not always wearing your Apple Watch. But if you have an Apple Watch, now you will absolutely notice when you don't have it on, because sometimes you forget, or I'll leave it on the charger or something. Or sometimes your studio space is just filled with so much garbage that you're trying to hawk on the common man on Amazon that you can't get to your Apple Watch because it's all the way across the room, and there's so many bags of garbage between you and the Apple Watch, you literally can't get to it. So you just say, I'm not going to wear my Apple Watch until I can dig myself out of this trash dump. And so you can't unlock your Apple Watch when you're out and about, with your Apple Watch, or your iPhone with your Apple Watch. It's very inconvenient. Sorry.
Did you say there was some doubt about whether they're going to call it the iPhone 13?
I've heard rumor for a while that it's too much bad luck. Might be called iPhone 12s.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Heard that?
I've heard that too.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll skip it like the 13th floor. It'd be iPhone 14.
Yeah.
13th floor is the magical one. Did you ever see Being John Malkovich? Did you ever see that movie?
Like 13 and a half.
It was like 13 and a half. Yeah. That was one of the weirdest good movies I've ever seen. Like most weird movies are just weird, but that one was actually good. There was another weird movie that I saw recently. Sorry, I know this is a tangent. It has oh my gosh, I'm forgetting her name. She plays Black Widow in the Marvel movies. Help me out here. Scarlett Johansson. Thank you. She was in this movie. It was one of the strangest movies I've ever seen. It's on Netflix.
I know which one. Is it where she's an alien in Glasgow?
Exactly. Did you watch the movie?
I've only seen half of it, but I meant to go back because I did enjoy the first half. Yeah, I know. I haven't seen the second half. Which is probably the best part, right?
It gets even weirder. Yeah. So basically, I don't want to spoil anything, but do you remember what the movie was called, Leander?
Is it called like In the Flesh or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Although I don't know if I want to search for Scarlett Johansson in the flesh.
Yeah, especially in that movie, because well, little spoiler.
What's it called?
There is some flesh that's shown in that movie. There's some flesh that's shown in that movie. That was one of the weirdest movie premises.
Under the skin. Under the skin.
Under the Skin is what it's
Sorry.
called. Oh man, it was such a good movie. It was such a strangely good movie. And when I turned it off, I just sat there staring at the screen and I was like, what the hell did I just watch? And
Wow.
and props to her for doing a movie like that, because she's like a Hollywood A-list actor, and then she does like this really small, strange movie where she doesn't even talk the entire movie. There's almost no dialogue in the movie. It's a very weird but very good movie. Okay, sorry. I took us off track. I'm
Gotta
steering the
watch it.
train back on the tracks. Everyone lean to the
Oh
left.
no! Wedged into both sides.
Oh no, it's too late. Someone get out the dinghy.
What a metaphor. Yeah.
That's good. Okay, so you mentioned the 120 hertz display. Did you mention the shrinking notch, Lewis?
I
think
believe
you
I did mention the shrinking
What about the
notch.
bigger battery? Did you mention the bigger battery?
I believe I did, didn't
Okay,
I?
all right.
Did I
I think
somehow
that you did.
fail to?
No, I think that you did. So here we have what is potentially a look at iPhone 13. Now, I'm sorry if you're listening to this. I'm showing a picture, so you're going to have to imagine in your mind's eye here. Here's what it's going to look like. Or you can go to, I think, live.thecultcast.com, and all of the live shows are there for you to watch later. I should mention that more often. Watch.thecultcast.com. Live is for the live show. Watch is for the archived episodes. Watch.thecultcast.com, and you can see that what I'm talking about here. So here's the screen. You can see we have a smaller notch across the top here. Now, you might be saying to yourself, didn't you guys talk about a future where the notch was gone? Well, yes, we've talked about many futures for the iPhone, and that was one of them, but I don't think that's going to happen until the 2022 iPhone, possibly later, where they get rid of the notch and they just have a hole in the middle of the phone, which I think is going to be a much better look, in my humble opinion. So let me just read the story. The notch in this autumn's iPhone 13 will slim down noticeably, according to pictures that supposedly show the front glass panels of the upcoming handset. None of the components will be removed, just rearranged. The image with a reconfigured screen cutout was leaked by Mac Rumors by iRepair, a company based in Greece. The tweet goes like this: iPhone 13, this is from Mac Rumors. iPhone 13 front glass reveals smaller notch with earpiece relocated to top bezel. So there you go. I don't really feel like that's... Oh, that is noticeably smaller. Okay, that definitely is noticeably smaller. I was going to say it doesn't look like it's that much smaller, but let me see if I can give you guys my phone here for effect, and I'll switch back and forth. Okay, so there we go. So there's the notch now, right? There we go. There's the notch now. Oh, wait, it turned off. Notch now. Notch in the future. Notch now.
How much is it smaller?
I'd say it's probably... That looks like it might be...
Half the size?
10% smaller.
It looks like maybe 30%. So not quite half, but definitely smaller. And I welcome any shrinking of the notch, especially if they can bring back the battery percentage. So like when they went to the notch, they removed the ability to have the power percentage in your top bar on your iPhone, which I really liked having that there.
Right.
So
yeah, me too.
hopefully they would be able to bring that back. All right. Well, since we're talking about leaks, I think now would be a good time to bring up Whoopi Prosser here. So, as many of you know, Jon Prosser was so sure that we'd be getting a... Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Lewis, you take this away. I'm taking your story here. I'll bring up the
Doesn't
story.
matter. Go ahead.
No.
Keep talking.
You want me to do it?
I don't care.
I'm stealing your thunder here. Apple...
Well, you've only got a word in edgeways this whole podcast, Irfan, so
Yeah,
perhaps
alright.
you should take it.
Okay, I'm going to take it. Apple leaker Jon Prosser shaves off eyebrows after missing key prediction. That's a good point, Leander. I like to speak for at least 80 to 85% of the episode, and I gave Lewis 10 to 15%, and I'm feeling like I'm left out here.
Now you're stealing it back.
Prosser was so sure that we'd get a March 23rd Apple event. He promised to shave his eyebrows off if he was wrong. I wrote this line. I really like it. Unfortunately for John, his prediction was as wrong as his face is without eyebrows. Actually, you know what? He doesn't actually look that bad. He looks like one of the inmates from 12 Monkeys. Have you seen that movie?
I don't remember the eyebrow status of the inmates.
Yeah, some of them they had an eyebrowless look to them, if I remember. But he kind of looks like a like an alien from Star Trek or something. He actually doesn't look that bad. It's kind of interesting that when you shave your eyebrows off, you realize like how unnecessary they actually are, because you still have like the movement of the.
Well,
of the
he
skin
said
there,
Face
you know?
ID doesn't work anymore.
Really?
Oh, really? He did say
He said
that
on Twitter
That's
this morning. I
hilarious.
retweeted it from the Cult of Mac account, but he said, yeah, Face ID is no longer working.
I'm sure he can retrain it to. I mean, it's got to work for Whoopi Goldberg, right? It's probably just confused because all of a sudden his giant bushels are gone. So
Yeah, it's changed it. Yeah, I'm sure you can retrain it.
you probably can. So the next question is, will Prosser's eyebrows grow back in time for Apple's next event? So according to Prosser, he says Apple will unveil new products, possibly including iPads and the long-rumored AirTags at an event in April. And I'm wondering what he's going to have left to shave if that doesn't come true.
Every time you talk about shaving eyebrows, have you seen Pink Floyd's The Wall?
Not in a long time.
When Bob Geldof shaves his eyebrows and it's a horrible bloody mess. There's like razor blades. It's like really, it's horrible, like imagery.
Yeah,
Which
that's not nearly as fun and upbeat as what John did.
Did you guys watch Prosser do it?
No, I haven't seen the video yet, but he did it in his front page tech video, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He did it at the end of I guess the show Monday or Tuesday. Which way was it? I guess it was Tuesday. I can't even remember now. But yeah, he he fired up the buzzers and buzzed it right off. It's he also, I thought this was cool. I mean, I think it's cool that he actually did it because
dude, he had to. He had to do it.
Yeah, but sometimes people don't, but the whole thing was pretty funny. I mean, it was like very theatrical. He's a funny guy, good sense of humor. His girlfriend or fiance or whatever's off screen, like going, oh, yelling and stuff.
Dude, I think he's married now.
Is he? Are they married?
Well, I just saw a picture. I saw. I think
I've seen a ring, but
I saw a ring on his finger. I mean, unless he's wearing an engagement ring. On his finger, yeah.
Okay. Maybe they got hooked.
He might be wearing an engagement ring. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past him. But yeah, he's definitely wearing a ring now. So congrats to John if he is actually married.
He also started set up a PayPal page for Wigs for Kids, which is a nonprofit that gives hair pieces to kids who lost their hair due to chemotherapy and things like that. So, I thought it was I thought he did it right. I thought it was pretty funny. And I hats off, eyebrows off to John for actually doing it.
That's good that he set up some charity thing. That's good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, I just hope that he didn't send him his those poor kids his nasty short eyebrow clippings.
Nobody wants
to make a little tiny wig.
just a little. That's like that's not good for the wig.
Like an eyebrow wig.
Yeah, I guess maybe. Yeah.
On Twitter, a lot of people are like, giving him props. But then some other people are just like they're just Prosser haters. And it's I saw somebody posted our story on Apple subreddit, and somebody's like, "Oh, this is a low point for this subreddit." I'm like,
dude, people get so bent out of shape about Jon Prosser. They really do. They really just some people he rubs them the wrong way.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know.
Yeah,
I got respect for the guy. I think he's
I like him.
Entertaining as hell.
Yeah, I like him too. I mean, I kind of feel like our styles are very similar, so I kind of have to like him. But yeah, there's a lot of really serious people out there. Like, I don't like my Apple News with any laughter at all. I just like it to be very dry. Just give me the facts, please, and let's move on. Why would you shave your eyebrows off? That is absurd. Everyone needs eyebrows. They protect your eyes from the sun.
We need you to increase the boredom factor, please.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, cool. Well, props to John for shaving off his brows. Now, it's going to be really funny when they start growing back in. I wonder how long that process takes, because it's going to be weird for a while. He might just want to keep him shaved from now on. Maybe that's why Whoopi keeps him shaved. Is because once you shave him off, well, then there's that probably month or so period where they're kind of growing back in, where they look really weird, even worse than actually being bald.
Every day he should take a picture of his face and do one of those things like, a 60-day time lapse.
That's a great idea. Yeah. And he should turn it into an NFT. And then sell it for $500,000 and give that $500,000 to the kids' cancer charity.
Yeah.
That'll help
That's a
him.
good idea.
That'll help him more than the eyebrow clippings that he sent them in that little Ziploc baggie. Here you go. Here's your. All right. Well, let's move on to a little quick story about HomePod Mini. I'm terribly sad about HomePod, and if you are sad like I am, they're starting to go on sale in various locations. In fact, we had a
disappear.
Yeah, soon they'll probably be gone. And I was telling Lewis this before we officially started the show. HomePods have a cult following. The videos that I did on HomePod on my YouTube channel were amongst the most popular videos that I did. Now, of course, they were dynamic and entertaining. So there is that part of it too, But people love the HomePod. They have a cult following, and people are buying these things up. They're not just going to sit around like the Google Home Max is into perpetuity. I think these are going to be gone within the next 4 to 8 weeks, especially if people start putting them on sale. Like OWC put them on sale for what was it, like $265, Lewis, or something similar, right?
Yeah.
And they sold out.
I think didn't Best Buy have them on sale briefly too?
Best Buy has them on sale like once every 4 to 6 weeks, I feel like, but their sales are good. They drop them down to 200, which is if I can find them for 200, I'll buy at least 2 more.
We haven't seen a sale price that good since the announcement that
Are you sure you want to buy some more? Because did you see the rumors this week that they were going to do new ones with screens?
I did not see that.
Should have been talking about that.
Nah,
I didn't even see that rumor. Phil, will you please talk about it now?
To be honest, I feel bad. I didn't read that story.
They added FaceTime to the HomePod software, one of the latest betas, or some FaceTime framework, which prompted the rumors that they were going to be adding screens to the HomePod, which of course is like what Amazon's been doing and Facebook, with its whatever it's spying.
The Facebook portal, the Facebook spy portal, spyglass.
Yeah. So the speculation that Apple's going to be doing the same thing, and it kind of does make sense. Screen on a smart speaker does actually work. Does make sense. It actually works pretty well.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I just feel like the HomePod is too good of a product to discontinue without replacing it with something. But then again, so is the iMac Pro, and the iMac Pro is now literally gone from Apple's website. And I think to myself, are they going to replace this with anything, or was this really just a stopgap product to hold over people who wanted an iMac Pro or a Mac Pro that Apple didn't have in their production schedule? So they just were like, here, take this iMac Pro. That just seems really weird to do a one-off product like that, especially the HomePod, because it's so freaking good. Although I will say, yesterday we were talking to our Echo. Sorry, I said the word. I shouldn't have said that. My apologies. To the thing that shan't be named. And we asked it a question, and actually the question was, what's the difference between a Beaver and a Woodchuck? That's a question that I asked my thing that shan't be named. And it gave us an explanation perfectly, answered the question perfectly. That is something that you could never hope to do with a HomePod. And it just really crystallized how much of an afterthought the smart functionality was on the HomePod. Clearly they designed it to be a really excellent speaker, and it is. And I wonder if maybe they got to the end of the design cycle and they were like, oh shoot, we need to make this thing smart in some way. What can we do? And they just weaved in some HomeKit stuff and the version of Siri from the iPhone 5 and said, all right, that's good, boys. Let's go ahead and ship it, because it's so bad and it was never good. You could hardly do anything with it. It mishears you all the time. It's almost like the equivalent of the dictation on your iPhone. When you're talking to your iPhone, and it writes the zaniest sentences, things that you did not even say, and it pens those out, and you're like, that is not what I said at all.
Or gets it right and then changes it to the wrong thing just as you're tapping send. That is the most annoying thing.
Right as you hit send, yeah.
Yeah. I had to happen with something the other day. It was so obviously just a ridiculous change, and it absolutely happened as my finger touched
is on the way down. It's like
just ridiculous. But it's not just the HomePod either, or your phone, Apple TV, that remote, it is darn close to just unusable at times. I mean, you can say exactly what you want to see, and it just cannot do it. It can hear it. It just can't. I I don't.
I've had luck with that. I've had luck with the remote. It works for me. I don't use it all the time, I gotta admit, but
I mean, it works sometimes, but then that's what's so weird about it. Like I don't know. It's just super frustrating because it doesn't seem like it's that hard of a nut to crack. I mean, other people have done it. If you ever use like the Google search app, it understands what you're saying and corrects things the right way, as opposed to hearing the right thing and then correcting it the wrong way.
well, maybe it's because of Apple's privacy stance. They're not spying on all of this data that's being generated. It's all processed locally on the phone instead of being sent to their servers.
Yeah.
Maybe this is coming to bite them in the.
I mean,
The
yeah,
buttocks.
that's been the discussion about it forever, right? I mean, oh yeah, it's super. But I mean, at some point, it's like it's almost better not to have it than to have it screw you up like that. You know what I mean? Like I don't need it to be so smart that it changes things the wrong way. I stop thinking. You heard it right the first time. Just let it be.
I feel like if you speak slowly and intentionally, it's much, much better. But you can't speak at your normal cadence. At least I can't, because I usually think fast, talk fast, am fast, right? You can never catch me in a race. There's no chance. But if I speak slowly, then it will actually usually decipher what I'm saying much better. But my echo is like otherworldly good. So it's in my living room. I've got 17 kids. They're all screaming at each other. And then I say, hey, you know who? Immediately, boom, like a laser. It cuts through all of that audio noise, and it's focused on me. It's like glowing, boom, 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 waiting for me to say something. And then I'll say something, and then my kids are all parrots. As soon as I say it, they start screaming at the echo, the same thing, especially if it doesn't react right away. They all just start repeating what I'm saying, all in tune right after one another, and then it gets it. My 2-year-old daughter, who I call Little Midgie, she speaks in Midgekin. She has her own little language, and I can barely understand her, and my Echo can. Now, it doesn't get it right all the time, but the fact that it knows what she's saying is unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable, because, like I said, I don't know what she's saying half the time, and yet when she barks orders at it, it somehow knows, and it plays the songs that she's trying to play. It is otherworldly good, and compared to Apple's products, it's just they're just not in the same league, Anyway, sorry.
What kind is that you have? It's a Echo Dot or?
No, I have the regular Echo, but it's the current generation, which in some ways I like less than the older generation. Like the first generation Echo, I still have one. I feel like it performs better than any Echo I've ever owned. It hears better. And your Echo died?
The original one died. Now we've got dots in different rooms. But I was just asking because lately it seems like, the wife and I are screaming at the thing because it just cannot. It seems like it's like going deaf. It can't hear us anymore. It can't understand what we're saying. It couldn't possibly do what we request. I mean, I can't tell you how many times it's like, hey, set a timer for 10 minutes, 5 minutes later, hey, how much time left? I'm sorry, there's no timer set. It's like, what? It's like it's got dementia.
Oh man, let me
It
share.
used to be awesome.
Let me share a quick product here that I got that I paired with my Echo. That was a game-changing product for me, especially if you have kids or you set a lot of timers. It's called. I'm speaking slowly here, like I'm talking to Siri. Oh, they have different models now. That's interesting. Okay, so let me bring this up. Where's browser mode? I have something called an Echo wall clock. And it looks like they make a Disney version of this now. This is really cool. So the Echo wall clock syncs with your Echo, and you can see it has like these little light up seconds at the edge of the clock here. So whenever you set a timer, it will activate the clock and it will light up how many minutes are left in your timer. So if you are waiting for your coffee to be done, or you're told your kids they need to wait 10 minutes or something, they have a visual representation of how much time is left, which for kids is really useful, right? Or for you can look at your clock and see exactly how much time is left. And then as soon as you hit a minute, all of these little lights on the edge of the clock will light up, and then it will count down one by one as your timer goes from 60 seconds to 0. And then it will start blinking once your timer's gone off. It's really cool. Now, the only thing is, it has like the most delicate clock hands I've ever seen. There's no cover on the clock. So you can accidentally touch the hands, and Amazon's like, in no situation should you ever touch the hands on your clock, because if you touch them, they just fall off. And once they fall off, your clock is literally useless. You can't put them back on and have the time be accurate anymore. So
Well,
you
that
have
sounds
to
like a great product.
What a fine design.
that's the only issue with it. But other than that, like it's been one of the best tech purchases I've made. I mean, the one that I got is just like this white one with the black face, and it's $30, and it's just been a champ. It's so nice.
Is that all
Heard
it
of that
does? It
device.
does-
What?
I
So
said
it
I've never
is-
heard of that device.
Yeah, most people haven't. It's one of those weird Amazon accessories that only works with your other Amazon accessories that most people probably would never even consider buying. But there's like a whole ecosystem of products that work with your Echo stuff that actually can be kind of useful, you know? So the Amazon... yeah.
Is it like an Echo? You know, can you use it to? Does it play music and answer questions? And is it
no,
like a proper Echo device?
no, it doesn't do anything like that. It just shows you the time. It literally just shows you the time. That's it. And
how much time you've got left on the timer?
Yeah, and it doesn't work without an Echo. So it's like a Bluetooth accessory to your Echo. So you have to have an Echo in order to use it. But if you set a lot of timers, man, it's super handy. Plus, it sets itself. Like anytime there's like daylight savings, it automatically sets itself. And so it's just like it's like a extra clock, you know? It's like a clock, but it's got some extra features. Yeah.
If you have two timers set,
Yeah.
okay, let's say you set a 10-minute timer and a 2-minute timer.
Yeah.
So how does it work then? How does it distinguish between those
So
two things?
if you have let me just bring this up. I'll bring up a picture. I know you and Leander can't see it, but for people watching, I can kind of illustrate. No, that's not going to work. Let me go here. Okay. So for two timers, if you do that, it will light up the timer that is going to be ending soonest. So you would have two lights on the outside edge of the clock. So there's 60 lights on the outside edge, right? One for each minute, right? And so on the outside edge of the clock, you would light up two. So you would know that your 2-minute timer is coming up first. And then it would place another independent LED lit up at the 10-minute mark. So you could see that you have two set up. It's actually kind of a smart way to do it, and it makes sense once you see it. So if you had a 10-minute and a 20-minute clock or timer, you'd have all of the LEDs from 12 to 2 lit up for your 10-minute timer, and then just one LED lit up at the 20-minute mark to indicate that you have another timer set at 20 minutes.
Ah, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Did I actually explain that in a way that you could understand? That's amazing. It's kind of hard to explain.
It was well done.
Thank you. I'm slow clapping for myself. Okay. Back to the story, though. Lander, tell us about HomePod Mini features and the hidden ones.
So apparently the HomePod Mini features a dormant temperature and humidity sensor that may be activated in a future software update. So it can measure temperature and humidity, potentially providing the means to power upcoming features that could arrive in a future software update, according to Bloomberg. The company has internally discussed using the sensor to determine a room's temperature and humidity, so internet-connected thermostats can adjust different parts of the home based on current conditions, according to people familiar with the situation. The hardware could also let the HomePod Mini automatically trigger other actions, say turning a fan on or off, or depending on the temperature. So Apple typically releases major HomePod software updates annually in the fall. It's unclear if or when Apple will switch on the temperature sensor, but the presence in HomePod Mini units that have already been sold suggests that this is just a matter of time. An Apple spokeswoman declined to comment, surprisingly.
See, it's weird, isn't it, that they're building in all these cool features into the HomePod Mini. So they're still developing HomePod, but people
are freaking out about this. It's like, this thing's got a hidden secret spy sensor, they didn't tell us about. It's not a good action for a tech company to be doing
it's not
this.
A spy sensor, humidity and temperature.
Well, people are worried about it. Yeah, like this unannounced. What other kind of unannounced sensors might it contain?
Oh, I see your point. Okay,
Ooh.
They're gonna figure out it has a hidden mic, like some of Google's products, like the Nest products. Are like they just found out it had a hidden mic. Like, oh, we don't know what's in there. Whoa. I think this is cool. I think having a HomeKit enabled temperature sensor, and I don't know how useful the humidity sensor is. I guess if you had an air conditioner or something, that might be useful. But I've often wanted to have a thermostat, HomeKit enabled thermostat in my home that I could use to trigger other HomeKit heaters or other HomeKit actions. And something like that doesn't exist unless you go out of your way to buy some kind of HomeKit enabled thermostat or temperature gauge or something. Like I think Elgato sells.
Eve makes
right
sensors like that.
That's an Elgato product, isn't it? The Elgato Eve.
I think it's just called Eve now. I don't.
Oh. Yeah, so it'd be cool to have something like that you could use to change the temperature in different rooms. And that's like the whole premise of like the Ecobee, right? Like you have your Ecobee thermostat, and then based on temperatures in other rooms, because they give you these additional sensors, it will adjust the temperature to raise or lower the temperatures in other rooms because the thermostat may not be in the room that you are trying to keep comfortable. It's kind of an interesting idea.
It's kind of it's complicated though, because I mean, not only do you need the sensor, you need to have an AC unit or a furnace that will work in different zones, because like most of them, like mine, it's just like it's on or off and it heats up the whole house. You can't direct the heat into any one particular area, but there are some furnaces I think that do that, right? They'll heat up this section or that section of the house, or if you have separate furnaces. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it seems kind of weird, don't you think? Like a temperature and humidity in a HomePod Mini, like of all the things I could sense, doesn't that seem kind of strange?
I don't think it's that strange. I think there's a lot of people who really are interested in weather data and temperature data, and they just like to know, like I would like to know, like, oh, what's the humidity in my house, or what's the temperature been throughout the month of December in this one room. I just think that's kind of like little geeky information that people would like to know. I would love it if someone made and maybe this exists, a HomeKit enabled radiator heater. So those portable heaters that you can get for different rooms. It'd be super cool if there was one that was made that you could control with your iPhone, or you could control based, on HomeKit conditions. In fact, I was thinking like maybe I should make a product like this. I'm giving away all my best stuff here. Someone take this. I want a review unit though. If you make this, those are such useful kinds of heaters to have, and we have them in all of our different rooms because, like you said, we don't want to have to heat up all of the rooms in our house just to keep some rooms warmer than others. And my living room is where the thermostat is. Well, we're not in the living room at night, so we don't need the whole house heater, or we don't need the house heater coming on and heating up the whole house. We just want like certain rooms heated up. And the freaking heaters that we have now, this is one of the strangest tech problems I've ever had. They are possessed. They have developed a mind of their own. They will just come on at random times. So my last electricity bill was like $400, and I was like, what the heck happened? And it's because these heaters would just turn themselves on and be heating
so
these.
You had to save money.
Yeah,
cost you money.
It cost me
These
hundreds
of
of
their
dollars,
own.
and they
They're
just
probably
turn
controlled
on.
by the utility company. It's probably turn them on and off.
Oh, this is even
Juicing up
better.
the bill.
So my last water bill comes, and you know how like they show you on your bill like the bar graphs, and they show you how much energy you've used. There's like all the normal bars, and then the bar for the current month is like off the invoice. It's like the highest bar I've ever seen. And my water bill was almost $1,600. $1,600. And I was like,
month?
For the last billing cycle, yeah. So
Is
I'm like,
is it 3 months or a month?
I think it might be 2 months, but it might be monthly. I have no idea. It's on auto pay. I think it's every 2 months. But it was for one specific month that caused all of the expense. And in Seattle, the freaking cost of sewer is what gets you. Like they'll charge you like 10 cents for a gallon of water, but it's like, did you flush that gallon of water down the toilet? We need $50 because the sewer is so expensive. So I'm like,
the sewer.
Oh yeah, they will. Every gallon of water that you use, they assume that you're going to flush it down the toilet, and they charge you for sewer. And I think the sewer is like 3 times the price of the water, which is crazy.
How can they prove that you didn't drink the water and then go somewhere else and pee?
Prove, Lewis? they don't got to prove nothing. They just said, "We know you did it. You owe us this money." Oh, don't even get me started.
We need a lawyer.
So
we
anyway,
need somebody we need to challenge this.
Well, yeah, and actually, my wife had a great idea. Because in the summertime, your sewage bill goes way up, but you're outside watering your garden and stuff, and yet they still charge you for sewage on all that water because they can, right? What are you going to do? Where else are you going to get
Legit.
water from? You're going to get it in those 1 gallon jugs from the grocery store.
Got
And
some rain buckets. That'll show them.
so my wife was like, you know what they should do is they should measure how much water you use in the wintertime, because clearly you're not watering your garden and washing your car, and that's how much sewage you should be charged for the entire year. Because if you're using more water in the summertime, it's not because you're showering more or you're doing more laundry or cooking more. It's just because you're outside watering. Anyway, I digress. So I call the water company. I'm sorry. I know I'm taking us on a tangent here, but I call the water company and I'm like practically in tears. I'm like, dude, you got to help me understand what is going on. I just got a $1,500 water bill. And he's like, oh, that sounds pretty high. And I was like, yeah, you think? You think that's high, dude? $1,500 is crazy. So he's like, well, let's see what's going on. And he's like typing on the computer. I can hear him typing. He's like, oh, boy. He's like, I can look at your bar. That's a very large bar. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So he says, well, maybe what happened is you have something going on in your water inlet line. He's like, and if that's true, he's like, the water is just spraying into the ground and you'll get charged for all that water. He's like, so you'll have to get a plumber to come out and they'll have to dig up your water line. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, dude, if that happens, I got to pay a plumber like $5,000 to $10,000 to dig up my water line and figure out where this leak is coming from. He's like, or it could be that they misread your meter. I was like, what? Like, misread my meter by that amount? He's like, it's possible. So he has me go out into my yard to where my water box is. I don't know if you guys have ever done this. And I'm out there like a dog looking for a bone, digging the dirt out because the freaking whole box is just filled with dirt. Like, I thought it was like this nice box that you just open up the cover and you can see your meter. No, it's filled with dirt. They just put an iron cover on the top. And I dig up this meter. It's like this tiny little meter. It looks like a tire pressure gauge. And I'm trying to look at this thing, and it's covered with scratches. I can barely see what's going on. And I read him the number that I see on there, and he's like, oh. He's like, boy, that's a lot different than what we have. And I was like, what do you have? And I guess the guy who came to our house, he just misread our meter by, I don't know, 10,000 gallons of water and put that on my bill. And they were about to charge me for this money, and it was just a misread.
Huh.
I know that was anticlimactic, but
Yeah,
so
no, I was hoping for something a little more exciting there at the end.
so I was wrestling with this
The
meter, right?
meter.
And I pulled it up.
I don't
the
know how
guys
people come out and read the water meters. Do they do that in San Francisco, Lewis? 'Cause you got a huge bill, didn't you, from when one of your sprinklers went haywire?
Yeah, the automatic water system sprang a leak while we were out of town, and yeah, we came back $1,600 bill. Same thing. Like what?
Oh man, what a nightmare!
Did you pay it
it's
though,
the
or did you
worst.
manage to get it?
You know, I think what they did was they let go of some of it, which I think might have been the wastewater disposal
Yep.
part. But then they said, "Oh, the other part you got to pay, but we'll let you pay it off over, a year or something." I can't remember what it was. It was not a satisfying conclusion, that's for sure.
Yeah, once
and
you
it,
use
and
that
it was
water,
all
man.
like, I mean, this happened in like a day and a half. You look at the thing and it's like, oh, there's this one day, same thing, like right off the charts. But it wasn't like it went on forever and ever. And jeez, it's just unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
You'd think they'd have some kind of system in place where an alarm goes off and they're like, uh-oh, address, 5725 is going off the water reserve, and we got to figure out what's going on over there before he gets a bill for $1,600. Or it could just be that the guy who came over to your house just didn't care about his job and just put whatever he want on the form and moved on.
They make devices like there's one called Flow by Moen, and it's a smart water shutoff, and you put it on the inlet into your house, and it does exactly what you're talking about. If you spring a leak somewhere, it's like, hey, suddenly you're getting all this water pouring out. It'll shut down your entire house.
What if you're in
and
a
send you an
shower
alert.
though?
Or you got to come out naked and figure out what's
smart,
going
and
on.
it
Go
knows
down.
like what's going on, right? And it can tell like, oh, you've been pushing water out at a gallon a minute for an hour and a half, right? Or it's I don't know exactly what it is, right? But it basically knows, oh, it's 3 a.m. It shouldn't really be shouldn't really be
Yeah.
a giant time of water consumption. And it also does things like it'll send you an alert, right? Hey, it looks like this is happening. And I'm sure if you were like, oh, yeah, I'm filling up my hot tub, you say, oh, no, leave it on. But I saw this thing demonstrated at a smart home thing here in San Francisco.
Oh, so it's
few
like a
years ago.
smart accessory too. It
Yeah,
will
it's
send you a
home-
notification. Oh,
it's HomeKit.
interesting.
And it looks pretty cool. I mean, I actually bought one, and I haven't installed it, because like I don't have the balls to cut into my inlet and do that. I'm not a plumber. I don't know a plumber, and I don't have enough money. But one of the big pitches for this is, I mean, okay, that's one, right? The inadvertent leak that costs you a lot of money. But one of the main things that they pitch it as is like, hey, this, I mean, it costs like, I don't know, $400 or something. But it's like if you have a leak in your wall or inside your house, I mean, you can easily lose, the cost of the water damage is, multiples of what these devices cost.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's
Interesting.
it's pretty wild, like the demo that they had set up, it's like, oh, it detects a leak and the valve just goes and turns. It's pretty wild.
Oh man, I would totally install something like that. Once you become a homeowner and something like that happens to you once, and you realize, especially if you live in like a major metropolitan area where they charge you an absolutely insane amount of money for water, if you have anything go on with your water, it's like gold. It's like gold coming out of your faucet. Like I have like dog ears about my water now. Like if I hear a faucet going on, I'm like, what's going on? What does that sound? And like I'll go into the bathroom, my daughters are just like, wee, the water's on full blast, and they're just letting it go down the drain, and they're rubbing it on their bodies, and I'm like, get out of the bathroom. No one comes in the bathroom without my permission, I want 5 number ones before anyone flushes that toilet. Don't you dare flush that toilet. I want it to be right under the brim. It's gonna be like a yellow cauldron before we flush that thing down, because water in Seattle is so expensive. Okay, we gotta wrap it up.
I said that was HomeKit. I'm not sure if it is HomeKit.
So you lied.
It definitely works. It works with an app. It's Wi-Fi. I cannot honestly remember, and I can't find it on their website. I could have been wrong about that, but it seems like a pretty good idea. My mom's house had that happen, decade ago or something. The water suddenly, there's just like a surge. There's like a bunch of this happening in this county. Surge of water pressure's too high, blows up something on the inside. Suddenly the basement's in 6 inches of water.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty awesome device. I mean, I wish I had the wherewithal to install it.
Yeah, well, you could always hire these. They have these people who are professionals. They work with water. They're
I
called
know.
plumbers.
Yeah, I could.
You pay one, they come over and they like fix all your pipes and stuff. It's probably worth it. Of course,
$400 is a lot of money for a device to be sitting there in his box.
yeah, especially
it is
if
literally in a box too.
But if you hire a plumber, it's going to be more like $1,500. Actually, that seems pretty easy. He could probably do something like that within a couple hours. Of course, what he'll do is he'll tell you it's going to be really difficult, and he'll spend the next 8 hours under your house watching YouTube on his phone, and then he'll bill you $3,000 like they tried to do with me. But I digress.
Oh, I see right now they got a $100 off
Oh, shoot.
on their thing, and they also mentioned on their website that insurance companies offer
Rebates on it?
discounts sometimes. So maybe it'll pay for the plumber just by getting your house insurance.
Okay,
discount.
let me wrap up this show here because we're going super
Anything
long.
to make it stop.
Anything to make Lewis stop talking about his plumbing. Okay, here we go. I thought you guys might enjoy this story, and if you have an older pair of AirPods, I think that this is a viable solution for you. And I love giving juice to good products. So let's give them some juice. 2 college roommates and some robots. How Podswap. First of all, that's a great name. Podswap. That's like Groupon. Excellent name. Replaces AirPod batteries. So I'm just going to read you the article here. This is from iFixit. Like most.
Do you read it as Podswap though? I read it as Podswap. WAP, like that song.
Really?
Podswap.
Wow. This might be the first known case of where an intercap could have paid off.
What is an intercap,
Right.
Lewis? I don't even know what that means.
Capital
Oh, intercap. Is that what that's
Intercap.
called?
That's what that's called.
Like my name's Tom McDonald. The D is an intercap. I didn't know.
typically, used in this was such a trend for a while that every single company had an intercap. Ugh, it was so annoying.
I'm gonna change my name to ER capital FON.
Well, I mean, dare I say it? There's an intercap in CultCast.
There is an intercap. Yes, that's
But
true.
see, nobody's gonna read that without the intercap as CultCast.
Colt asked. All right, here we go. If you have an old pair of AirPods, listen up. Like most AirPod owners, Emily Alpert found that after 18 months, her wireless buds did not last, not even for one full run. Unlike most AirPod owners, Alpert, along with her best friend, got a robot to fix her problem. That's what started Podswap, a startup that replaces your AirPods first or second generation for $60. $60. First, you get a thoroughly clean and refurbished pair sent to you, and then you mail Podswap your dead pods. It's like SodaStream canister exchange, but for headphones that might otherwise be headed for the landfill. This is such a great idea. Let's see here. How do they trade out batteries at lower prices than Apple's own battery service? Alpert and Stritzinger only let on so much in an interview. They said that the battery swapping involves specialized equipment and precision robots, because apparently doing this manually is very difficult to do. You have to blow dry the tip of this AirPod here and heat it up to 212 degrees Fahrenheit, which would burn off your little fingertips, and then pry this thing up at the same time. So they use precision robotics. Every part in the AirPod except the battery is reused after being thoroughly brushed and disinfected with UVC light. And the replacement AirPods customers receive look identical to standard AirPods, minus, fine scratches or other minor imperfections. So I have a pair of first generation AirPods, and I think the right AirPod only charges up to 72% now, and within an hour it's dead, So what are you supposed to do besides give these to your kids or to a family member who doesn't want to buy their own AirPods? They just sit in a drawer. They're like my backup AirPods. But if you could pay $60 and
they can eat them, along with some Lego.
Oh,
there you go. Oh, well, gosh, my daughter tried to eat my wife's AirPod, and she caught her before she swallowed it, and now it doesn't work anymore. The volume is 10% in it now because all of her saliva got in there and ruined it because she was sucking on it like it was a freaking Pez. Yeah. So there you go. If you want to rejuvenate your AirPods, I think this is actually a really interesting solution. And for $60, you get basically a brand new pair of AirPods. I mean, they might have minor scratches on them, but the battery is the part that's going to be
you're
new.
getting someone else's old AirPods, aren't you? The ones that that you put them in and then a whole bunch of saliva comes out.
Or something worse.
Yeah. I mean, they're refurbishing, aren't they? They have constantly coming in with new ones. So they send out you a pair of refurbished ones, and then they get your old ones back. They fix those, and those go out to another customer.
You know what's interesting,
not the worst
though?
thing, but
no, I don't. I mean, as long as they clean them thoroughly, which I'm sure they do, and disinfect them.
With UV light, yeah, that was what?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, the UV light's fine, but I want them to get all the nasty ear grime out of there. Some people,
yeah,
I am obsessive about my ears. You take a look at my ear, it looks like a modern day airport in there. It's spick and span. That might be a weird analogy, but
Nice.
I keep my ears completely clean. And some people haven't touched a Q-tip since the early aughts. So I don't want one of those sets of AirPods with all the nasty crust going on in them. That's going to make me retch. I wonder if they would ever consider offering the ability to just send your own AirPods in and get them back. You know what I mean? Although that sounds like it'd probably be way more time consuming for them. They have to track it and everything. So that's it. You got anything to say, Leander?
No, really, no.
Do you want to eat your lunch now?
Cool story, though. Where are these people based? Do you know?
I think the repair center is in Miami, but I don't know exactly where they're located. But
the new hot place for tech.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's a good idea. Everyone's talking about moving to Miami, aren't they? But all the tech people are.
Oh,
here they are anywy.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, no, it's great that they're doing this stuff. The longer these these are kept alive and kept in they have a useful life. I'm totally for repairing stuff. Love to repair things. I repair all kinds of stuff. In fact, I'm kind of obsessive about it to a degree that it's kind of crazy. Huh? I'm not too good on plumbing, but I mean, how hard is it? I mean, if you let me look at the instructions. I can take a look. I've done a bit of plumbing.
Good luck.
Oh my.
Good luck to you,
I bet it's
Lewis,
just a
if you
question
let
of cutting.
Leander fix your plumbing issues. In future news, Lewis's house is floating away. There's a geyser coming out the roof.
Maybe I could unclog your drain too at the same time, Lewis.
Oh
I'll come
man.
over with my Mario
I
outfit on.
need a lot of help.
Oh
Yeah,
man, if
you
you're
know
good with
all sorts of
toilets,
plumbing issues.
I'll fly you out here to work on mine. My toilet has lost all the power of the flush. Man, that thing is my toilet's dying. I don't know what's going on with it, but if you make any kind of like human-sized turd in that toilet, you got to flush it at least twice. If you got a kid turd, you're probably fine. You're looking at one flush. Anything bigger than that, though, if you're an XL turder, you're looking at least 3 flushes.
I feel like
is that
I
TMI?
must have. I feel like
Yeah.
I must have.
Well, no wonder
just,
your water
like,
bills are
passed
so
out,
high.
and I'm now in the middle of some kind of weird
What?
fever dream. Are you actually talking about the relative size of excrement?
I'm just
Yes.
saying that my toilet is really struggling. That's
It takes a lot of abuse,
that's
does it?
all I'm saying.
It sounds like maybe it's not getting enough water in there in the tank, so you adjust the floater. You know the.
I did.
Ball
The
cock thing?
floater's the problem.
Maybe
You know-
it's the.
I'm just gonna start the music.
Find the off switch.
I'm just
somebody.
gonna start the music
Get us out of here.
before this goes anywhere else. All right, guys, that's all the CultCast we have for you guys this week. If you want to come talk to us about your toilet
Do you want to hear
tech,
my Star Trek joke?
no, not right now. If you want to come talk to us about your,
Yeah, I want to tell it. Go, let me get it. In
okay,
there.
I'm stopping the music. Go for it.
What is toilet paper and Dr. Spock got in common? Toilet paper and Dr. Spock. What do they both have in common?
I'm trying to think of the answer.
They both fight Klingons.
Oh my god.
I actually find that kind
This
of
is Spock being entertained by your joke.
Yeah, that is not logical, Captain.
Set phasers to kill. There we go. All right, guys. Now that is all the CultCast we have for you guys this week. I apologize for that joke that you just heard. I'm going to remove that in post. If you want to come tell us about your toilet tech, we're all on Twitter. Okay, Lewis is out. Lewis Wallace. This has been the CultCast, the best 30+ minute Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. New episodes of the CultCast come out every Thursday night. I want to thank everyone for listening and for watching live. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. Hopefully you learned something. And we'll see you guys next time. Oh my gosh, I gotta pee so bad. I think I might be... I didn't know this was possible, Lewis. I might be at 46 ounces. I can't hear you. What happened?
What?
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, where'd Liz go? I'm ready for some lunch.
Oh, dude, me too. What are you having for lunch, Vander?
It's Trader Joe's salad, same as always.
Oh, man. I wish I had some leftover pizza. Like, one of the best feelings in the world is when you are really hungry and you look in your fridge and you realize that you had pizza left over. Then you do that dance that Steve Ballmer did on stage when he was trying to hype up the developers and he was all pitting out.
What number are we at? 4, 8, something?
I don't know. For some reason, we lost Lewis. Oh, Lewis, I can't hear a word you're
What?
saying.
Come
Oh, wait.
on,
No,
really?
you're there. You're back.
I'm just not talking.
Oh, you were just miming your words.
I was thinking about having a pizza. I was
Oh,
just trying to
man.
remember when the last time I bought a pizza. It's been for sure over a year.
Oh, that's too long. All right, hold on. Let me stop the stream because we're still live. Everyone's hearing all our banter here. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.
Oh, we did a shout out for Ross Hall.
We were just one.
Because Ross sent that, on Twitter, he put up that picture that we were talking about at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I don't remember it at all.
Okay, we'll have to shout it out.
It's really scary
Shout it
too.
out. Bye.